I got a new ring. That really doesn't have anything to do with the video, I just wanted you guys to know. So, as we are all aware, a popular trope in movies and TV shows and books, etc., is a good old love triangle. I myself am not innocent of loving a good love triangle. Some of them, they really slap. But there are also some really bad love triangles out there. What I am here to talk about today is some of the best and worst love triangles in media. I compiled a bunch of love triangles from things that I knew, and I am going to talk about them. The formula for a classic love triangle is as follows. The protagonist, love interest A, love interest B. The protagonist has to have romantic interest in both love interest A and love interest B, and they both have to have romantic interest in the protagonist. To make a good love triangle, there has to be clear competition between who the protagonist is going to pick. If the choice is really obvious, then it's not a very exciting love triangle. But if the choice isn't obvious, then it's interesting to see it unfold. Also, if we're being honest, love triangles have to include a gay person. If a love triangle is just one person, and one person like one person, and that person likes both of them, that is only two sides of the triangle. There is a missing third side where those two separate love interests of the protagonist have to like each other as well for it to be a proper triangle. Otherwise, it's just a weird bendy line. But that is not how media thinks of it, and anything where there is two love interests to the protagonist is a love triangle, even though that's not a triangle. The first love triangle, I think we all know it, we all love it. The Twilight love triangle. This is an example of a really bad love triangle. For a love triangle to work, there has to be some sort of contest between the two love interests. If it's unclear who the protagonist is going to end up with, that's a good love interest because you don't actually know whereabouts it's going. In Twilight, however, everyone knows from the get-go that she is going to end up with Edward, and she is just stringing Jacob along because she's kind of a bitch. There is no clear contest between Edward and Jacob. It is a right choice and a second love interest thrown in for unnecessary drama, honestly. And it doesn't have that spicy element of the two love interests actually liking each other. I'm gonna keep bringing that up because that is the only way to make it a proper triangle. The love triangle in Twilight is just kind of messy. Jacob's kind of a dick. Edward's kind of a dick. Bella clearly likes Edward more than Jacob, but she only ever thinks of Jacob as a friend. She only ever thinks of Edward with romantic interest. And it is very clear that Jacob is only thrown in there for added unnecessary drama. I think Stephenie Meyer just really liked the idea of two hot guys fighting over a clueless girl who, she doesn't want them to fight because it's her best friend and her boyfriend, and like, shut the fuck up, dude. The Twilight love triangle does get points for being so iconic, but it's just not conceptually good. There's no real point to making it a love triangle, and it would have been an honestly more compelling narrative to have it be Jacob hates Edward because Bella is his best friend and he doesn't think Edward is good enough for her, not because he's romantically interested in her, but because he wants what's best for his best friend, and he doesn't think Edward is good enough for Bella, so he hates his fucking guts. Because that is how it goes when your best friend gets a shitty boyfriend. It would have kept the tension between Edward and Jacob the same, but it wouldn't have made it so awkward. You all know I have to talk about this at least once in this video, the Phantom of the Opera love triangle. This is the OG love triangle. Raoul, Christine, and the Phantom are the original blueprint. And while you might think I am just biased because of my love for Phantom of the Opera, I do think they are actually a good love triangle, just not in the way that you think. It is not clear who Christine's gonna end up with, but not because she does genuinely really love the Phantom. It's because it's unclear whether or not the Phantom will let her be with Raoul. Raoul is the obvious good choice, but the Phantom is just so scary and manipulative that we don't know throughout the story if he's going to let Christine be happy with Raoul or he's going to force her to be with him. And while yes, it is implied that Christine does have like a little bit of romantic, probably also sexual attraction to the Phantom, he's very, very clearly manipulating her. The man pretends to be her dead father. You also cannot convince me that Raoul and the Phantom weren't like a little bit into each other. Just like a little bit, in like a enemies to lovers sexual tension kind of way. In my eyes, it classifies as a good love triangle because it isn't clear who Christine is going to end up with. Because while we all know that Raoul is the better choice, we don't know if the Phantom is actually going to let her make that better choice. And if you are one of those weird people who thinks Christine did deserve to end up with the Phantom because he's like a good guy or whatever, he literally kills people. She was being emotionally abused. We cannot talk about love triangles without talking about the queen of YA love triangles herself, Cassandra Clare, and the Shadowhunters Chronicles love triangles. There are 3 specific love triangles I'm going to talk about. Some of them good, some of them bad. Obviously, the first and most well-known love triangle, Clary, Jason, Simon. This, in my opinion, is a bad love triangle. It's a similar situation to the Twilight love triangle where we all know she's going to end up with Jace, even while we think they're siblings, which is just something I ignore. Simon is just the best friend. She only ever thinks of him as a best friend. She only ever thinks of Jace romantically, even when we think they're siblings. Similar to the Twilight love triangle, it would have been better if they had kept the tension between Simon and Jace to being a platonic love for Clary that Simon has, and him not thinking that Jace is good enough for his best friend. It is Cassandra Clare's weakest love triangle, in my opinion, because she does write other good love triangles like the one from the Infernal Devices. Tessa, Jem, and Will. The hallmark of a good love triangle. The romance between the 3 of them, you never know how it's gonna go. Circumstances are keeping each of them apart. It's extra interesting that Jem and Will are best friends. They love each other, whether it be platonically or romantically, because let's be honest, they were definitely romantically interested in each other. And Tessa loved both of them equally. It is so unclear who she's going to end up with, and the end result is not one that you can predict easily. It makes it so much more interesting to read. The genuine love that all 3 of them have for each other, so good. The 3rd Cassandra Clare love triangle is the one from the Dark Artifices, and it in particular is my favorite. Kieran, Mark, and Christina. This is what a love triangle should be. Mark and Kieran are exes. They're both into Christina. Christina's into both of them. They just end up in a polyamorous relationship, and that is the way it should be. That is the easiest way to solve a love triangle, like ever. They don't fight to see who gets to end up with who. It's just they all end up together, and they're happy, and it's great, and I love it. It is a proper triangle because everyone is interested in everyone. The Hunger Games love triangle, in my opinion, was unnecessary. Any romance in the Hunger Games, in my opinion, was necessary. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot about the love triangle. I feel like it's a common theme in love triangles for it to be the best friend has romantic interest in the protagonist, but she has a boyfriend now, and it's just... The Hunger Games one, I think, is a little bit more compelling because Katniss didn't actually originally have any romantic interest in Peeta. She was just doing it to save their own skins. And that romantic interest developed over time, and I genuinely don't remember if she had any romantic interest in Gale. I don't remember anything about that love triangle. I just remember it felt really unnecessary, but it was a cool point. The media focused so much on their love triangle instead of the fact that like everyone was like fucking dying. I don't know if Titanic counts as a love triangle, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's a bad one. I mean, it's kind of similar to the Phantom of the Opera love triangle in that you don't know who Rose is going to end up with because, like, we don't know if, like, they'll let her be with Jack or whatever, but, like, we all know she's going to end up with Jack. The love triangle from To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, a good love triangle. I do personally think Laura Jean made the wrong choice. I think she should have ended up with John Ambrose, not Peter. He was obviously the better choice. She said it herself. I don't know why she didn't end up with him. I fucking hate that plot point. We're not gonna talk about it. The love triangle in Fruits Basket, bro. That is a good love triangle. I was Team Yuki the whole time. I'm not gonna lie. Toru slowly developing romantic feelings for Kyo throughout the course of the show is really nice. The fact that they started off, he didn't really like her. She wanted to be his friend, but he didn't want to be her friend. She got really close with Yuki. Yuki developed romantic feelings. Kyo started developing romantic feelings. Toru started developing romantic feelings, but not towards Yuki, towards Kyo, who she didn't know liked her. Yuki didn't actually like her. He was just kind of projecting his mommy issues on her, which... Okay, honestly, I think again, they could have just polyammed it. I'm not mad at the outcome because Kyo and Toru are really fucking cute, but I was Team Yuki for most of it until it was revealed that he wasn't actually romantically interested in Toru. He just was projecting his mommy issues, and then he ended up with a different love interest who's actually a good love interest. although I still think it would have been fun if Yuki was gay. And that is all the love triangles I could think of. This was just a bit of like a rambly time. I just wanted to talk about my thoughts on love triangles. Man, I've been thinking about them. I've been thinking about how much I don't like some of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, subscribe, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. It's free engagement for me either way. Maybe I will make more rambly videos about things I don't like in media later, because this was kind of fun. But that is it. That is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.